Mahlzeit und willkommen zurück hier beim SciFi Sunday, meine Lieben. Und wie ich es ja schon angekündigt hatte, wir spielen heute Star Trek Resurgence. Ein, ja, wie soll ich sagen, interaktives Film-Adventure. Es ist auf jeden Fall von ehemaligen Telltale-Entwicklern. Und dementsprechend spielt es sich dann auch wie ein Telltale-Game. Also wer damit vertraut ist, der weiß, wovon ich rede. Alle anderen, lasst euch überraschen. Es ist episodisch aufgebaut und wir spielen zwei Protagonisten. Einmal den ersten Offizier und einmal einen Ingenieursunteroffizier an Bord des Schiffes. Ja, und Star Trek typisch werden wir in etwas Größeres hineingezogen, als es auf den ersten Blick den Anschein hat. Aber gut, mehr möchte ich dazu gar nicht sagen. Wir starten das Spiel. Ich zocke das Ganze mit dem Xbox-Controller, weil das empfohlen wird. Ich habe das schon mal angespielt. Da mit Maus und Tastatur geht auch, aber wir nehmen jetzt mal den Controller. Es ist auf Deutsch gestellt, die Sprache bleibt allerdings Englisch, deswegen habe ich Untertitel für euch eingeschaltet. Und dann wollen wir mal loslegen. So, ihr seht schon hier, das ist mein alter Spielstand. Deswegen nehmen wir einen neuen. Ich nehme mal den auf der anderen Seite, damit wir nicht durcheinander kommen. Anfangen. Okay, kann ich mir doch nicht aussuchen. So, Beziehungen und Ereignisse, die du erlebst, werden von deinen Entscheidungen beeinflusst. Also das, was ihr im Spiel für Entscheidungen trefft und so weiter und so fort, die nehmen Einfluss auf die Storyline. Ich weiß nicht, in welchem Ausmaß, ob wirklich alles, was wir entscheiden, sich irgendwie auswirkt. Aber auf jeden Fall haben unsere Entscheidungen Auswirkungen. So, jetzt quatsche ich nicht mehr weiter rein.
Captain's Log, Stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them. Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy, the nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good. Our new first officer is en route to the Resolute. Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
Thanks.
No problem.
Erste Interaktion.
I'm not great with flying.
Okay.
These little shuttles?
Und du bist der Sternenflotte beigetreten mit Y. Lassen Sie die Augen offen. Ja, komm. Y.
You don't like flying. And yet, you joined Starfleet.
There's a reason I'm not a pilot.
You should try it sometime.
Deine Worte beeinflussen die Crew. Also ihr seht schon, sie hier, Jara Rydek.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
Ja. Also ihr seht schon hier die gute Dame, Jara Rydek. Die spielen wir auf jeden Fall.
She's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy. She'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
Ja, schwierig. Ich will ja nicht in die Dialoge reinquatschen. Also auf jeden Fall jetzt nochmal von vorne. Die spielen wir auf jeden Fall. Dieses Spiel hat sich tatsächlich ein paar Assets geklaut, will ich nicht sagen, aber übernommen auf jeden Fall von Star Trek Online. Das sieht man an den Schiffsmodellen auf jeden Fall ganz gut. Finde ich auch nicht schlimm. Ja, also ihr merkt's, ne? Wir sind die neue erste Offizierin auf der USS Resolute. Eine von 2 spielbaren Charakteren auf jeden Fall. Jetzt sind wir erstmal in einem Space Dock angekommen, bewegen uns, können uns hier auch schön umsehen. Okay, interagieren mit dem rechten Trigger, das machen wir.
Starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
Tja. Am äußersten Rand der Föderation, wie so oft. Wer Star Trek kennt, der weiß. So gehen die
Commander?
guten Geschichten los.
I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the academy.
Naja, komm, wir sagen mal X, sehr
There's
beeindruckend.
that.
Really? That's quite impressive.
Thank you. It was tough. But you know, I set my mind to it and it paid off.
Na, dann komm mal ran, Jovenmeter.
Please place your hand here. Hold it there for a few seconds.
Sollten wir hinkriegen. Hand scannen. Machen wir auch mit dem rechten Trigger? Jo, machen wir. Ich benutze den Xbox-Controller, ja, falls ihr euch wundert.
Welcome, Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before.
Die Freude ist ganz meinerseits, oder? Ich war ja nicht die Beste. Wir wollen ja jetzt nicht zu arrogant sein. Na komm, Freude ist ganz unsererseits.
The pleasure is mine, Ensign.
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
See you on the Resolute.
So, dürfen wir wieder? Ja, wunderbar. Eine nette kleine Übersicht. Ja. Ist jetzt nicht das mega detaillierteste, aber wer Star Trek kennt, der weiß, dass die Starbases nicht unbedingt anders aussehen. Oh, mit dem linken Trigger kann ich mir die Points of Interests einblenden lassen. Auch gut zu wissen. Kann ich auch? Ah ja. Den linken Stick reindrücken, kann ich auch ein bisschen schneller laufen.
Commander Ermot is a Bolian, so I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
Ja, jetzt suchen wir nach jemandem mit blauer Haut. Wir können natürlich auch mit jedem quatschen. Hier zum Beispiel, quatschen wir ihn mal an.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm just... Well, I'm not sure where my departure dock is. The Resolute's gonna leave without me.
Look here. The Resolute is leaving from this dock.
Ah, you're right. Nerves must be getting to me. Thanks so much, Commander.
Gar kein Problem, so sind wir. Ja, jetzt können wir, wie gesagt, hier so ziemlich mit jedem interagieren. Naja, ist auch nicht richtig, ihr seht ja, so viele Möglichkeiten sind es nicht. Wir sollten das aber auf jeden Fall machen, denn das kann sich, wie gesagt, auswirken.
Excuse me. Have you seen a Bolian around here?
Yes, sir. Right back there, near the replicator.
Da hinten steht er auch schon.
Ah, there he is. Thank you.
Happy to help, Commander.
Jetzt hat sich das Feld auch schon ausgedünnt, weil wir jetzt nicht mehr nach ihm fragen müssen. Jetzt gucken wir uns das Ding hier noch an.
Starbase 128 has 4 docks.
4 Docks ist nicht gerade viel für eine Starbase, finde ich.
I'll replicate myself a meal once I'm on board.
Und das war es an Interaktionsmöglichkeiten außer den Fahrstuhl.
Excuse me.
Verzeihung, ja. Guten Tag. Commander Urmot.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermot, Operations Officer on the Resolute. Commander? I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. The storm isn't making anything easy for us.
War etwas holprig. Ja,
I know
können wir schon
conditions
sagen.
are less than ideal at the moment.
It was a bit bumpy, but otherwise okay.
My apologies. This storm is unlike anything I've seen before. We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier starship.
Was haben Sie gehört? Sparen Sie sich die Schmeicheleien. Sie haben hohe Ansprüche. Was haben Sie gehört?
What exactly have you heard about me?
First in your class at the Academy. Received the Starfleet Award of Valor during the Dominion War. Most recently, Tactical Officer and Chief of Security on the USS Endeavour.
You've done your homework?
Like I said, we're very lucky.
Das ist unser Schiffchen, die Resolute.
The USS Resolute. She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own. And she doesn't look so bad considering 6 months ago she was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
Equipment malfunction. An accident suggests fault, but no one's to blame. It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle. Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other.
Es hätte schlimmer
That's
sein
what it
können.
means to be a crew.
Das ist ein hoher Preis. Ja, würde ich sagen.
To have lost so many lives. That's a high price to pay.
Too high by any estimation. But there's nothing that can be done about it now except get back to work. And make sure it never happens again. Listen. I realize you've known Captain Solana for quite some time. And I'm sure you're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Ja, ich kann Ihr Vertrauen gewinnen. Müssen Sie sich damit abfinden? Nee, eher nicht. Danke für die Vorwarnung. Nee, ich kann das Vertrauen gewinnen. Doch, da bin ich sicher.
Trust is earned, and it sounds like I have my work cut out for me. But I plan on winning them over.
I don't doubt that. I just figured it was better to know what you're walking into.
Of course.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region. I'll let the captain brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
Also ich hätte mir jetzt meine Entscheidungen einblenden lassen können. Linker Stick. Das ist der andere Kollege, den wir spielen können. Und das geht immer so im Wechsel dann.
Stuck. I got just the thing.
Finde den Plasmaschneider. Ja, was könnte ein Plasmaschneider sein? Das sieht nach einem Schneidwerkzeug aus. Plasmabrenner. Okay, jetzt mit dem rechten Stick das Ganze in der Mitte halten. Ja, diese üblichen kleinen Minispielchen in solchen Games. Ups. Okay, mit dem rechten Stick drehen. Oh ja, deutlich angenehmer mit dem Controller als mit Maus und Tastatur. Das kann ich auf jeden Fall schon mal sagen.
Is that?
The Lower Decks. Das ganze Spiel spielt übrigens nach Star Trek Nemesis, also dem 10. Kinofilm, dem letzten mit der Next Generation Crew.
Nice work, Carter.
Nothing to it, Millie.
And not a moment too soon. The boss wants us down in engineering. Like, now.
Auch hier könnten wir jetzt noch eine ganze Menge interagieren. Einiges ansehen auf jeden Fall. Ist aber nicht unbedingt notwendig. Kann man machen, aber das sind einfach bloß Schiffssysteme, zu denen er dann irgendwas erzählt. Soweit habe ich schon gezockt, dementsprechend werde ich uns das jetzt ersparen. Es ist natürlich interessant, gar keine Frage. Auch ihre Kommentare hier von der Lady, der wir gerade hinterherlaufen, weil sie dann nämlich drängeln wird.
Engineering.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up
Befehl ist
dousing
Befehl.
plasma manifolds. Hanging upside
Sie
down
trauen sich
makes
das
me
nicht zu.
queasy.
Wir werden mit allem fertig. Ja, genau.
You and me working together? We can tackle anything he throws at us.
Your optimism is positively contagious. Looks like we got here before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
We were just looking for you, Commander.
Petty Officers Ed Solar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officers.
Wir sind alle unersetzlich. Fast zu spät heißt ja nicht zu spät. Ja, komm.
So you're saying we're irreplaceable, Commander?
That is one interpretation. Another would be that I would replace you if I could. You can interpret as you see fit.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood.
Sie klingen
But
besorgt, wir
many
werden bereit
systems have been
sein.
affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
Sie klingen besorgt.
How concerned should we be about the storm? Are you worried?
Vulcans do not worry. We calculate the variables and take appropriate precautions to mitigate the risk. Right now, that entails making critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances will be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes,
Roger
Commander
that.
Chovak. All hands on deck.
Sympathisches Kerlchen, oder?
What's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chovak said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out, and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule. Consequences be
Na, die
damned.
Crew arbeitet mit Hochdruck.
Won't get an argument from me, Nelly. Sure seems like everyone's still scrambling.
And I get it. When has a relaunch ever gone off without a hitch? But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Whoa.
Excuse me.
Den haben wir vorhin kennengelernt.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's
Gib
for
ihnen eine
sure.
Chance. Hoffentlich sind sie bereit. Daran habe ich keinen Zweifel. Nee, gib ihnen eine Chance.
They seem all right. Something that happened 6 months ago while they were off on another ship? Well, that's nothing to hold against them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess getting a little new blood on board doesn't hurt. Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda.
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
Du willst lieber zurück?
Wouldn't take long to reverse that transfer and get you right back on the Adirondack.
I didn't know you had that kind of authority.
Oh, Carter's going places. You'd be surprised what he can do.
Still, I am glad to be here. He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
Na dann. Kleiner Raumspaziergang.
Here,
Wir kommen.
let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go.
Kraftfeld?
See you on the other side.
Activating magnetic souls.
Die Mucke. Es ist so geil. Ich mag's. Star Trek Feeling kommt rüber. Falls ihr es noch nicht gemerkt habt, ich bin harter Star Trek Fanboy. Umso mehr feiere ich das. Das kommt cool.
Have you never gets old.
Let's go.
Und wie abgefahren das sein muss, oder? Mit so Magnetstiefeln so an dieser Hülle lang zu latschen.
Captain Solano should be here momentarily.
Ja, fliegender Wechsel, sozusagen.
You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleons. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
Ja, da haben wir schon mal einen ersten Einblick in ihren Background gekriegt. Sie braucht also regelmäßig dieses Zeug. Um ihre Zellen zu stabilisieren. Also man könnte wohl davon ausgehen, wenn wir das nicht kriegen, dann wird sie zu Brei.
The first mineral Captain Solano ever discovered. Always was the nostalgic type.
So, ich weiß jetzt gar nicht, ob der nach einer gewissen Zeit von alleine hier aufschlägt. Oder ob ich mir wirklich alles angucken muss. Deswegen machen wir es einfach mal.
Can't wait to plot a course myself. Just a sip of something.
Raktagino, also klingonischer Kaffee, Tee oder Kaffee.
Decisions. Raktagino.
Ich will auch so eine Tasse.
That sure has a kick.
Replikatoren sind geil, oder?
Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. My only regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
That would be totally unnecessary. I don't need any pomp and circumstance.
You've been here all of 5 minutes, and already you're trying to make us more efficient. I like it. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
Ich kenne die Einzelheiten nicht, ist, glaube ich, die beste Antwort.
You'll have to forgive me. I don't really know the details.
Starfleet has been kind enough to keep the story contained, probably because they want to protect me. But I don't mind telling you. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career? Right there, within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship can handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
Die Crew kannte das Risiko. Wir müssen es hinter uns lassen. Nee, die Crew kannte das Risiko.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible. And that's where I failed. In my defense, I will say I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO. I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work.
Was passiert, wenn man sich daran nicht hält?
Start to go sideways.
Sie können sich auf mich verlassen. Sie haben das letzte Wort. Was passiert, wenn man sich daran nicht hält?
And what happens if they don't?
There's a chain of command for a reason. We all have our orders.
That's true. Everyone on this ship should know that.
Sometimes the occasional reminder doesn't hurt. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. 2 previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hotari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be
Was für ein gewaltiger Sturm. Ist die Crew bereit? Wer ist der
But the
Diplomat?
diplomat will brief us on the details of the rendezvous.
But are we prepared to embark on the mission?
As much as I'd like to think that's true, I have my doubts. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. Just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
Je früher, desto besser. Wäre mir eine Ehre oder ich muss noch viel lernen. Das wäre mir eine Ehre.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember. So I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Thank you.
Come. Let me introduce you to the crew.
Na klar. Ich meine, ist das nicht sowieso Grund, warum man zur Sternenflotte geht am Ende? Man will doch Captain werden, oder? Willkommen auf der Brücke.
Everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
Well, what he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our Chief Science Officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian, who's been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time. And I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
Sie haben schon von mir gehört?
You've heard of me?
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad, because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves, and you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but
Schön,
you
dass du
definitely
inspiriert
set a
bist.
standard to strive for.
Das ist ein großes Kompliment.
I don't know what to say. That's incredibly flattering, thank you.
I hope someday I can follow in your footsteps.
I'm sure you will.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. I have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous. The bridge is yours.
Tadam! Wir haben das Kommando. Jetzt müssen wir uns natürlich erstmal vertraut machen mit der Brücke, ne? Ist ja klar. Hier erstmal die große Übersicht über die Hauptsysteme.
So many decks. Full of crew that are now my responsibility.
Hey, ja. Communications.
Keeps us in contact internally and with other vessels.
Huh? Ein Turbolift.
Turbolift could take me anywhere on the ship, but I'm right where I need to be. Impressive range of view.
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Und auch eine echt nice Aussicht. So, damit haben wir die Stationen uns angeschaut. Dann quatschen wir mal mit der Crew. Fangen wir mal mit unserem Fan an. Ach nee, ist die taktische Station. Na gut.
Tactical station. Hopefully a diplomatic mission won't require we use our weapons much. But if it comes to that, we'll be ready.
Toi, toi, toi. So, dann haben wir bei ihm die Ops.
Operations. Staffing, supplies. There's a lot to keep track of on a starship. Good thing we have Commander Ermont. The helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class, meaning it's capable of quick maneuvers. Can't wait to see what she can do.
Ja, das wäre dann Navigation, dazu sagt sie allerdings nichts. Wissenschaft.
Science station. The Resolute is a science vessel, primarily. Might explain Commander Westbrook's attitude. I'll have to speak with him later.
Stuhl des ersten Offiziers, Stuhl des Captains. Taktisches Hologramm.
Tactical hollow dais. Just like they've got on the Excelsior.
Die Excelsior. Uralt.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Wir warten noch auf Zustimmung. Haben wir hier den schönen Blick, oder? Ich meine, als Captain ist nice, oder? Echt nice. Jetzt haben wir es natürlich versäumt, dass sie noch was zu dem Stuhl sagt, den sie normalerweise benutzt, aber egal. Na dann.
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field. Now.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition blue.
Alles Routine.
The storm is getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
Okay, machen wir uns mal auf den Weg. Mal gucken, ich weiß noch nicht, wie lang die Folgen werden. Ich hätte jetzt schon bei einer halben Stunde Schluss machen können. Ich peile jetzt mal die Stunde an.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine. A
natürlich will ich das.
Massive machine.
Yeah, of course I do. Starfleet's an open door. We just have to walk through it. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere, see new worlds, look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be. Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Okay. Dann schauen wir mal. So, was brauche ich denn? Das scheinbar.
Beginning recalibration.
So, okay. Werkzeug bewegen, Punkt einstellen. Ist egal welchen jetzt. Ich schätze mal, das muss in die Mitte. Ja, sieht so aus.
Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
Na? Ein Warnlicht und es fällt keinem auf.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive.
Nett.
Yes, I am the chief science officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just
Sie halten
about
große Stücke
anyone.
auf sich. Das ist beeindruckend. Sie sind also nützlich. Nee, das ist beeindruckend. Komm.
What a very impressive list of credentials.
This is a research and discovery ship, first and foremost. Now with a former tactical officer as its new first officer. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then?
Das ist eine miese
Leave
Frage.
Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario.
Bisher war das nie ein Problem. Der Captain
But
versteht die
not
Lage.
outside the
Danke
realm
für
of
die
possibility.
Besorgnis. Ah ja, komm, wir bleiben nett.
That's very kind of you to be concerned about my well-being. But you don't need to trouble yourself on my account. I'll be fine.
Well, I wouldn't say I was concerned, just curious, that's all. Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest friends.
Na, ich werde ihn nie
So I can
ersetzen
only
können.
hope that you'll live up to expectations.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure.
Rotes Licht.
Just a moment.
Rotes Licht ist nie gut.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound.
On screen.
Hoppala.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wide-band burst of ionic energy, like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities all over the ship.
Estimated time to impact.
Das will man doch
2
immer
minutes.
schon mal sagen, oder? Red Alert.
Red alert.
Aye. Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one
Oh,
shot
fuck.
at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
Right,
Okay.
which is why we need to send power to our shields.
Schilde hoch.
Petrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood. On my command.
Heading locked.
Raise shields.
This is it.
All hands, brace for impact.
Das Ding ist, die beiden sind ja noch da draußen.
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
Blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
Das ist einmal übers ganze Schiff. Krass.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Okay, na denn.
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Na denn. Dann müssen wir die Klammern öffnen.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Aha, aha, aha. Okay, gut, ich muss da zumindest nicht überlegen, wie es aussieht.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
Okay. Benutze Y, um die Phaser auszurüsten. Linken Trigger zielen, rechten Trigger schießen. Na dann. Okay. So, und du?
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
Okay. Phaser bereit machen. Nehmen wir den gleich mal in die Hand. Ach du Gott. Garstig. Autsch.
Are you alright? Yeah.
Ja, das war nicht so geil.
Suit took most of it. Just snuck up on me.
That damaged your suit. Energy dampening is down to 60%.
Es kam garstig von der Seite. Wenn ich das so richtig verstanden habe, haben wir scheinbar 3 Leben. Wenn man das so sagen kann.
We're almost to the regulator.
Wenn mir die Kollegin jetzt noch ein bisschen den Rücken frei erhält, dann wäre das ganz cool. Hoppala. Haben wir es dann jetzt, oder?
We're at the regulator. Opening the access panel.
I am now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
Ich bin da schon dabei. Ha, Vulkanier, schlimme Vorgesetzte. Na denn, so.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
Menü? Okay, was soll ich machen?
The EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance. Almost done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chobak can...
Ach, als wenn das noch nicht genug wäre bisher, oder? Eieiei. Mann, der Lack ist doch noch ganz frisch. Freunde. Ach du Scheiße.
Get down! Here's the bridge. We just lost the docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. Hull vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working.
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now.
Ach
Damage
was.
to the station will be catastrophic.
Wir haben ein Team da draußen.
We have crew outside and are looking for the
We have
safest way to...
people on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order.
Die Sache ist nicht so einfach.
All due respect, sir, it's a more complex situation than when you
Jara,
disembarked.
I need you to do the right thing. We can't have this go sideways before we even leave for the mission.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
Ja. Tja, scheiße, ne? Kehr die Polarität um.
Starbase, stand by.
Ich muss
We're
die
gonna
retten.
flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
Es hat nur dem Captain nicht gefallen. Und der Vulkanier, der Ingenieur, der ist neutral. Also oben links in der Ecke, ihr seht das da immer.
Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Das war ein bisschen knapp.
Grab my hand.
Ja, mach ich.
I got you.
Thank you.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Na denn. Sieh zu. Na komm. Na komm. Es fehlt Data an Bord. Oh oh. Ei, komm. Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. Das ist Teamwork. Nice. So ein Stress und gerade mal im Raumdock. Freunde. Ei. Glaubt, die ist leicht K.O.
Petty Officer Etzelar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc if you approach the main hull the way you came.
Ja, na klar.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There's an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Etzelar there to access the interior.
Na, wenn's weiter nichts ist.
Go in there now.
Fuck. Ich habe halt auch keine Chance, mich schneller zu bewegen. Wie sie da hinten an ihm dranhängt. Moin. Alles cool? Ihr solltet euch vielleicht ein bisschen beeilen.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time.
Was?
No time to fight me on this.
Auf gar keinen Fall.
Get in there.
Not on your life.
Let's not let it come down to that.
Oh nö, komm. Oh, was? Hi. Okay. Situation gemeistert, denke ich.
We made it.
They're safe. Bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
SIF, strukturelles Integritätsfeld, ja? Falls ihr euch wundert. Wobei eigentlich selbsterklärend. Okay, meine Lieben. Egal was jetzt kommt hier, ich quatsche jetzt hier drüber. Wir machen an dieser Stelle jetzt erstmal Schluss für diese Folge. Und nächste Woche Sonntag geht's dann weiter. Das sollte hier eigentlich speichern, denke ich. Gut, meine Lieben. Ich danke euch auf jeden Fall fürs Zusehen. Es war mir ein Fest. Ich hoffe, ihr seid nächste Woche wieder mit dabei. Als denn, bis dann.